We only have 6 more days until the release of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Leading up to the reveal, we've had plenty of snippets of gameplay that reveal a lot of features for us to discuss and dive into. Now, while I could dive into every single feature and make an in-depth explanation video, you guys have already watched plenty of those. There is one feature in particular that I think could make or break Modern Warfare 3 Zombies that I really want to get into. And what is that new feature? Well, it's Tombstone.
Rest in pieces. I'm on the count.
Okay, with all the memes aside, let me actually explain. The way that Tombstone has always conventionally worked is you buy it, and then when you go down or bleed out, instead of losing all your guns and all your perks, you drop a Tombstone. Then when you respawn, you can run into the Tombstone, acquiring your previously lost loadout. Now, in theory, that actually does sound pretty good. However, in practice, you would find that it has some limited applications. First and foremost being that this was not a solo perk. This perk was only useful if you were playing in a co-op game. Of course, there were some interesting uses for it. On Town, for example, you could use it to get more than 4 perks, essentially breaking the 4 perk limit. However, besides that, I mean, no one ever really used it, and for the most part, it was a huge meme for all of Black Ops 2's lifecycle. They did bring it back in Cold War, but again, it was lackluster and no one really used it. But boy, oh boy, does Treyarch have some new plans for this perk. It has been revealed to us that now, in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, when you buy Tombstone and you bleed out, instead of respawning and picking up your loadout like in every single previous game, this now transfers entire games. Let me give you guys an example. Let's say that you're having a really good game of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. You have the ray gun and the new wonder weapon that launches you across the map. You have every single perk just absolutely set up. Now let's say that you go down, the whole team goes down, the game ends, and that's that. Then 3 days later, you decide to hop back on and play another game. You spawn into the game, and there it is, a glowing Tombstone that has your whole loadout from the game that you played 3 days ago. You run into it, pick it up, and you're completely set up from the jump. Now, I don't think I need to explain to you guys how absolutely crazy and potentially game-breaking this feature is. I mean, this is the closest thing to saving your game that we've actually ever had in Zombies. Now, of course, there are some obvious pros to this feature, but there are also some not so obvious cons. So let's go over the obvious pro. Being able to save your game in Zombies is something that the community has talked about for years. Personally, I think it's really cool that, you know, maybe you don't feel like going through the whole setup all the time, every single game, and now you won't necessarily have to. However, it is a double-edged sword because that could also be the very thing that makes this game boring. I would wager that 90% of the fun of Zombies is going through the map, learning everything, getting set up, and just embracing that experience. Which, if you guys don't remember, was a huge complaint of Cold War. In Cold War, they completely got rid of the starting pistol and said, you know what, if you want to start the game with an AK-47 with a red dot sight, extended mag, and foregrip, go for it. And yes, a lot of people did like that you could customize a loadout that you could take into the game with you. However, there were a ton of people that felt like that ruined the whole early game of Zombies, that the whole point is that you start from nothing, you're weak, and you build yourself up to this wonder weapon having, perk having, zombie slayer. And by giving the player the ability to start with whatever weapon they want, by infinite self-revives and infinite chopper gunners, it just made the game too easy and lost the luster of the challenge that was Zombies. Now for me, I can see it from both perspectives. Sometimes it can get boring and repetitive to just have to do the same startup over and over and over again anytime you want to have a good game of Zombies. But then on the same token, if you can start with whatever weapon you want, if you don't have to feel that sense of progression, if you can buy self-revives however many times you want, if you can buy chopper gunners however many times you want, it takes away the personality from the map and it makes them all blend into the same game. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I play Cold War, it feels like really the map that I'm playing on doesn't matter because the features are literally the exact same on every single map. Essentially what they did is uproot the content from the map itself. Now the map that you play on doesn't determine the content is going to be the same in every single game, and now choosing the map is more like, what aesthetic do you want to be surrounded by? What scenery do you like? For example, look at the stark contrast between, let's say, a Mob of the Dead and an Origins, two completely bona fide different experiences. And then you look at a game of D Machine and a game of Firebase Z, and it's I mean, what's the difference? Literally the only difference is the scenery. So to tie it all back together, that is what I am worried about with this new Tombstone feature in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. I'm worried that you're gonna have a great game, you're gonna get off, and then the next time that you play, you're gonna have the same loadout, and it's gonna take all that progression that you would be able to experience out of the game. And then that's just gonna be a cycle, because everyone's always gonna have their Tombstone, they're always gonna have their loadout, and then they're always gonna spawn into it the next game, and the next game, and the next game. I mean, really, it almost feels like they're trying to take Zombies away from what it used to be, where, you know, it used to be a standalone experience, to now more of like an RPG raid boss, Borderlands type Destiny thing. You know, you'll spawn in, you'll have your loadout, you'll have your weapons, and then it's this boss and that boss. Plus the fact that they're making this a more co-op tailored mode, that's kind of where I see it going. However, I am not going to pass a final judgment yet. I'm gonna get the game, I'm gonna try it out, play it, and record it for you guys, and then we'll see how it's really going. I am curious though, what do you guys think about this? Which feature do you prefer more? Do you like starting bare bones and building yourself up through the experience, or do you think it's cool that you can start out with a potentially very beefy loadout and get that much further ahead in the game? At the end of the day, we're all Zombies fans and we just want to have fun playing the game that we all love. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. I think this game does have potential to be really good. I also think it has potential to be another flop, but we're just gonna have to see. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.